Imagine you have a Ferrari. The engine is blown, it's leaking oil everywhere, and it's honestly kind of embarrassing to drive. Most people would tell you to scrap it and buy a Tesla. But what if I told you that the chassis, the wheels, the seats, and the transmission are all perfectly fine? What if you could just swap the engine? Right now, the world is trying to kill off coal, and for good reason. It's the single biggest source of carbon emissions on Earth. But here's the problem. We have over 9,000 coal power plants that produce over 2,400 gigawatts of power. That is trillions of dollars in infrastructure, massive buildings, cooling towers, and most importantly, the high voltage wires that connect them to your house. If we just shut them down, we're throwing away the most expensive chassis ever built. But there is one energy source that can move into these old buildings and replace coal almost overnight. The giant kettle problem. To understand the solution, you have to understand how a coal plant actually works. And honestly, it's kind of primitive. A coal power plant is basically a giant high-tech kettle. That's it. You burn coal to boil water, the steam spins a turbine, and the turbine makes electricity. The dirty part is the fire at the bottom. The expensive part is everything else. The turbines, the generators, and the grid connection. If we want to replace coal overnight, we don't need to rebuild the whole grid. We just need a new way to boil the water. Solution 1. Small Modular Reactors, SMRs. This is the engine swap. Coal to nuclear. Okay, I know. About 86. That was 40 years ago, and we improved. But nuclear energy still has a PR problem. We think of massive, cooling tower-heavy stations that take 20 years to build and blow up. No, just no. But SMRs are different. Think of them as the Lego sets of the energy world. Remember when I said 9,000 coal power plants produce 2,400 gigawatts of power? It is equivalent to roughly 1,200 large nuclear power plants. But okay, anyways. These reactors are small enough to be built in a factory and shipped on a truck. And here is the genius part. 80% of retired coal plant sites are perfectly suited to host a nuclear reactor. By doing a coal to nuclear transition, we save 35% on construction costs because we're reusing the coal plant's cooling systems and transmission lines. It's the ultimate engine swap. Bill Gates' company, TerraPower, is literally doing this right now in Wyoming. They're taking an old coal town and giving it a nuclear heart. It saves the jobs, it saves the town, and most importantly, it saves the grid.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!
But wait, what if you're still nervous about nuclear? There's another contender that just got a massive tech upgrade in 2026, next-gen geothermal. For a long time, geothermal was like a VIP club. Unless you lived in Iceland or a volcano, you couldn't have it. But thanks to new deep earth drilling tech, we can now reach the Earth's internal heat almost anywhere. A recent report showed that this deep heat could replace 42% of all coal and gas power. It's the same logic. We use the Earth's core to boil the water instead of burning rocks. No waste, no emissions, and it's always on, unlike solar or wind, which need the sun to shine or the breeze to blow. The conclusion: solving the puzzle. The reason this is the overnight solution isn't because we can build a reactor in 24 hours. It's because we don't have to spend 50 years rebuilding the entire global electrical grid. We already have the Ferrari. The wires are already in the ground. We just need to stop being afraid of the engine swap. Now, go check out my video on why your mouse cursor is crooked. Trust me, it's crazier than you think.